Hey guys, Jim here again to bring you guys an MMA fight prediction video. This time I'm coming to UFC Fight Night 37's headliner, which features a light heavyweight matchup when Alexander Gustafsson collides with Jimi, the poster-born Manuwa, in a game-changing bout for whoever wins. Either somebody's going to get another title shot, or somebody's going to become a star. Just like that. Now, I'm going to give you guys a full fight breakdown of the two fighters and who I have ultimately winning. Let's get some. Alexander Gustafsson, Jimi Manuwa. Now, Gus is coming off the fight of the year against Jon Jones, in which he took the champ to places that we've never seen the champ at. I mean, he basically cut him off. He outstroked the champ. He took him down the first round. He tripped him in the second round. I mean, it was the first time we were like, oh my god, Jon Jones could potentially lose this fight, man. I mean, that third round was close, but I gave a slight edge to Jon Jones. The fourth round, Gus was still kicking his ass, but he ran out of gas, and Jon was able to turn around and steal the round with elbows and knees, and damn near almost finished him in the fourth. And in the fifth, it was all Jon Jones. From there, he took that round. I mean, Gus was still in there. He was fighting, and Jon took him down. And Gus was able to stop at least 9 of Jon Jones' takedowns. And in that respect, it took Jon 10 tries to get this guy down. So his takedown defense has improved. And the fact he took down Jon Jones was huge, man. And the fact he outstruck him, he bloodied him up. I mean, he really raised his profile with everybody to the point where they pretty much voted him as the second guy to be on the cover of the new EA UFC game, beating the likes of Ronda Rousey, GSP, and a host of others to get, you know, a slot with Jon Jones on the cover of that game. That was great. But nevertheless, there was talk of an immediate rematch with Jones, but none of that is happening. Instead, now he faces undefeated prospect and England's own Jimi Manuwa, who is 14-0. All wins by KO or TKO, and 1 submission in there by guillotine choke. And this guy is the epitome of finisher, and he's never been past the second. Now, his fights in the UFC haven't all been like clean cut TKOs or finishes. I think when he came in, he beat Kyle Kingsbury by doctor stoppage, by closing out Kyle's eye real good. And then, you know, he won his second bout against Cyril Diabate by injury. And the same thing in his last fight against Ryan Jimino, he won the same thing by injury. Both of them had like leg injuries that they suffered. And I think it was an accumulation of a lot of things. I think Jimmy basically like put all that damage to their bodies and then the legs that they just gave out, man. As simple as what I think that is. And Kingsbury, he was just tagging that dude's eye with punches and knees. And that was pretty much it with that guy. But those two fights are the only question marks I'm looking at, you know, those were injuries. You know what I mean? They weren't like clean knockouts. But nevertheless, Jimmy has a big opportunity in this fight to go from prospect to star and instant contender. Now, obviously, he won't get a direct title shot should he beat Gus that soon, but he'll definitely get himself in the conversation, that's for sure. And I think with one more win, then he gets a title shot. Because, I mean, obviously, Jon's got to fight Glover, and then should Daniel Cormier defeat Rashad Evans, then he will get the title shot to whomever wins out of Jones and Glover. But then again, if Glover wins, Rashad Evans beats Daniel, then yeah, they could probably see Jones and Glover for the title shot, and then then Jimmy will probably get a shot right after that, after another win, I'm guessing. But the fact is, when breaking down these two fighters, from the tail of the tape here, Gus is much taller than Jimmy. He's 6'5", Jimmy is 6'1", so there's about at least 4 inches of difference there. Gus has a bigger reach at 79 to Jimmy's 76. Cardio-wise, Gus is better because he's been past the 3rd round, and he just won a 5-round fight against John Jones. Although I think he ran out of gas in the 4th, but he still hung in there and fought the champ. And Jimmy's never been past the 2nd round, and he did have a little bit of cardio issues in the Kingsbury fight. Now the stand-up part of this is interesting because Jimmy is a very hard-hitting kickboxer or Muay Thai practitioner, in the fact when he starts throwing in the kicks and the punches, man, you feel it every time that guy hits you. And he's also pretty good at closing the distance, because when he fought Surreal, he was able to tag Surreal. Surreal had a significant reach advantage over him. He had 80-inch reach, and he was able to close the distance, land on him, take him down, and basically dominate the fight. Until Surreal got injured, obviously. Now, and also, you know, the fact of the matter is that he also knocked down Kingsbury, especially when they fought. And he's knocked out a host of other guys that he fought in England. And if you're not careful with this guy, if you don't take him out, he will eventually, all the accumulation of damage from his strikes will eventually put you out, man. It's that simple. Now, Gustafsson is a excellent striker himself. He's got great hands, great footwork, and he uses that long reach against his opponents because he can hit them when they can't hit him, and he just basically strikes you from a distance. He's got a great knees, great front kick, great kicks in general, and once he closes in on you and gets at your chin, it's done, baby. Just ask Vladimir Manushenko when he came in rushing at Gus, and Gus hit those jabs on him to his jaw, he went down. And when he got that straight right on Jared Hammond, he was finished. And he ground and pounded Matt Hamill into mincemeat. And he cut John Jones' face up real good. Now, as far as like wrestling is concerned, a lot of the opponents Manuwa has had have had a problem getting him down to the mat, except for Kyle Kingsbury. He's a big, strong wrestler, and he got Manuwa down plenty of times when they fought. But Jimmy was able to defend the takedowns against Jimino when he tried to take him down, and he was able to get back up when freaking Kingsbury had him down. He was able to get back up to his feet and start laying the leather on him. And the same thing with Gus. Gus has great takedown defense. He has much improved offensive wrestling. He was able to take down Mauricio Shogunhua Messloads at times. He took down James DeHuna, and he took down John Jones most recently. Now, grappling is concerned, Jimmy will go for submissions. I've seen that in one of his fights, and he does have a victory via guillotine choke over somebody overseas. However, I think overall submission game goes to Alexander Gustafsson because he is a purple belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and he has submitted the likes of Surreal Diabate and James DeHuna. And overall, when it comes down to their game plans, Jimmy is going to look to close the distance and start tearing up Gus's legs, going to the body with hooks, knees, and try to, get Gus, disoriented, with all those body shots, so he gets his head down, and so he can crack his head with knee shots and cut him up there. And then, once he has his head where he wants it, with a Muay Thai clinch, receive with more knees. If that doesn't finish Gus off, then basically start doing a page John Jones' playbook with the elbows, baby. Standing elbows, and then take him down, and proceed to the ground with ground and pound, and more elbows. Now with Gus, he's got to be a bullfighter. He's got to let that big bull come at him and get out the way, stick and move, frustrate him to making a mistake so you can catch him coming in and use this momentum against him and counterpunch. Heavy on the takedowns, because this is not a guy you want to sit there and trade shots with or kicks with, because this guy hits hard and he is hungry and he wants that UFC title and that recognition. Take this guy down, ground and pound him, and submit it. Or keep him at a distance and get him to the deep water in the later rounds. And strike him from a distance and win this fight by unanimous decision. Anyways, ultimately I see Gus pulling this out. Official prediction is that Alexander Gustafsson wins this fight by unanimous decision, KO, or by submission. And he will go on to face the winner of Glover Teixeira and John Jones. And obviously, I think John Jones is going to kick Glover Teixeira's ass. I've already said that in my prediction. And he will fight Jones for the light heavyweight championship and try to right the wrong that was made at UFC 165 and take what he feels is rightfully his. The UFC light heavyweight championship. And, Jimi Manuwa is going to have a bright future in the UFC. But just not right now. He's going to learn from this fight, and he's going to be a much better fighter. He's going to build himself back up, and he eventually will be a contender one day. That's for sure. Now, this ends today's fight prediction video. I'll see you guys for the next one.